Hello there again, babe. This is the second video. No real structure. Just talking random, but addressing maybe a few things that I can think of. One is that I have already got the first video uploaded. I done it straight away instead of filming everything first. I decided to upload that, which I suppose I could upload while recording another, but I just decided to take a little break. While taking the break, I used that time to actually properly set up the playlist on my YouTube channel of all the videos, except the ones that you uploaded on your channel. So I have a few to get myself from there, which I will easily. But I have about 10 videos. There'll be 11 videos after this. So let's just say 11 videos on the playlist. And yeah, I labeled it videos for Aileen, and the description basically says this is for you. This is for my one true love, Aileen. And yeah, it's got it's got a nice photo of me as a cover for the playlist. I will actually show you the screenshot of what the playlist page looks like on a mobile, at least. I'm pretty sure I can get you. I don't know if I can get you the playlist. What's the name? Link on the on mobile, but I'm 100% sure I can get it on PC. So if I can't get it, if I can't get the link to you on mobile, I will get you the link to my playlist through my PC. So if you're looking forward to that, but yeah, I hopefully church was gracious, babe. I finished the video when I seen that message pop up, and it was about 15 minutes at that point. So that's why I hurried to message you at that time. So hopefully it was good time, and hopefully it was, as I said, gracious. Now, I was just to touch on that subject again. I love that idea. I still absolutely love that idea about my clothes. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to select a few shirts that I could wear, and I will show you, let's just say, 5 shirts, and I could do it by video, or maybe by video call. Same kind of thing, but maybe well, there's benefits to both. Because I can get your answer straight away, or by video, which you may not be able to answer to a recorded video, but the advantage is you can rewind and watch it and see if you actually did like the a certain shirt. I can also get you photographs. So I'm actually getting. I haven't thought of that until now, so I'm giving myself ideas as I talk, babe. So no, I'm super excited about that. I would love you to send as many pictures as possible. It would just be an honor, the necklace that you have is one thing, and it's amazing, and I love that every time I see you wearing it in photographs, in random photographs and videos that you put up, even if they're not related to me, it's still something that makes me smile because I know it's about me. And me and you loving each other so much, uh, that that it represents. Oh, well, unless I misinterpret it, but my interpretation is that I have got the key to your heart, or that you have got the key to my heart. But I think it's more that because because it's a present to you and it's from me, the gesture is that that key on the necklace is the key to your heart, and you recognize it as such. And I love that representation, baby. You chose very well. You chose very well, and I'm glad that you really love it and you wear it all the time, and that's fantastic. A short story that I just remembered in the old Bobo head is that my granny, my mother's mother, uh, unfortunately, my grandfather passed away in 2010, but they were married over 50 years, just over 50 years before my grandfather passed away. And since it's 12 years, almost 13 years since they first got married, my granny has never taken off her wedding ring. And I just find that fascinating. I've heard of people maybe taking off their wedding ring, such as my mother, during like dishes and things like that. Like going to bathe, taking a shower, or doing something that involves water, or something that it could fall down somewhere, like scrubbing a toilet. Like maybe you still have gloves on, but maybe you just want to take that extra measure, as I probably would. However, the above and beyond nature of people back in the day probably meant that my granny was set to never ever remove her wedding ring, and that for me is just a loving thing. I spoke about it to my mother uh, a couple of weeks ago, and yeah, she confirmed that I think she's unable to take it off now. It might be like swelling in her hand, maybe, like with age, and like she's lost a little weight. She was never huge, but like as the older you get, you maybe pile on a little few pounds, and she's short, so you would look heavier, but she was never heavy. But as far as I'm aware, unless I'm mistaken, she can't take it off. Or I could be just misinterpreting it as that, as her gesture to never take it off, instinctively made me think that she couldn't take it off. But when I talked to my mother, yeah, like I can't remember that conversation precisely a few weeks ago, but as far as I'm aware, she can't take it off. And even if she could, she doesn't. And that's that's cool. Like it's more than cool. It's so romantic and so amazing. 63 years on. Now, I think it could be 64, considering that I'm not exactly sure of what year they got married, but I remember, I think it was the year before, or the 2 years before my grandfather passed away, that they celebrated their 50th anniversary. And I remember seeing like champagne glasses and things like that to celebrate it and things. So let's just say it was the year. So 64 years, let's just say. At least 63 years. So I'm pretty sure of that, because, they had the 50th anniversary. Sorry, I'm just they had their 50th. I was doing something there. My TV switches off after it doesn't be used after like an hour or so, so it indicates that it's going to turn off unless I press a button. So I had to press the button because I didn't turn the TV off. So that's what I was doing. Sorry, but basically the way I've come up with 63 years since they got married is quite simple. Is like at least, so this is at least 63 years, is because they had their 50th wedding anniversary, and they actually got married on the 26th of December, like 1950 something, or it could be very late 40s, like 1949. But whenever it was still 50 years. And the amazing thing about, no, am I wrong? Yeah, it could be, no, sorry, not 1940. That'd be 60 years. Yeah, it could be like 1956, 1957, or 1958, or something like that. But they were, as I said, at least together for 50 years before my grandfather passed away on the 26th of July 2010. I still remember getting word about that. This isn't necessarily a story about that, but I can tell you another time. But yeah, it was devastating, and it was the first death I had to go through in my family. I'm still very fortunate to never have a tragedy in my family. My grandfather was literally a week away because his birthday is in the first week of August. It's the 2nd of August. So he was only a week away from turning 86. And I wish he did make it, but for all intents and purposes, he was 86. He lived a long life. He had dementia, which was horrible. It was definitely horrible his last year and a half, more specifically. But he had a great life. He was a very good man. And this is that, as I said, I can make a video about my grandfather easily. I have very fond memories of my mum's dad. Like his name was Patrick. And just as a wee side bit, which would be good to tell you on the story if I made a video, which I might just write down as one of my video ideas. But when, sorry, I'm going a bit sidetracked. I will get to what I was saying. So they had their 50th wedding anniversary, and since my grandfather died, it's been 13 years, right, this year. So at the very, very least, this year, they would have married 63 years ago, at least. And at maximum, I would say 65 years. So what I mean is at least 65 or 63 to 65 years my granny has worn this wedding ring on her pinky finger, and or not pinky finger. Sorry, my head's boo boo at the moment. It's loading, but no. So I will backtrack. My granny has worn her wedding ring and never taken it off for the last 63 to 65 years. That's an entire lifetime. My granny was young when she married. My grandfather was a good few years older, which, yeah, when I'm watching this, hello, Stephen, in the future, put down in a note to say about the story about my grandfather as one of the videos for Aileen. So Hello, Aileen. Hello, Stephen in the future. But yeah, I would like to tell you a story about my grandfather, or I could also write a note down and give you specific stories about certain members of my family, like Con, uh, who was like a brother to me. I mentioned that in my life video, so I might combine it, or like I'll do something, and it'll either be like separate uploads, or I could combine a load of them. Like I could have like 5 minute segments for like 10 of my like 10 members of my family or friends, and during those 5 minutes I'd be telling stories about like about them or so. So that's a decent enough idea, and that could be like my life story part two. So like I'm happy because I have another video idea, and it's easy for me to do because I know exactly what to say, because it's just remembering the past. So it's not like I have to create anything particularly brand new. I try my best, Eileen, at thinking of what to say. Yesterday I was excited to talk, but in my head, I just think, what can we talk about? And it was not you, it was me. I was thinking, huh? My brain just didn't work. I was like, why can't I think in terms of that when I'm completely the opposite in terms of typing, which is a part of my autism. I've explained it before, and I'll only touch on it this wee bit. I am better communicating by text or messaging or letter. So anything written or typed is much easier for me to communicate than verbally. Now, I may sound pretty clear right now, and I do. When I get into difficult conversations about something important, or if I have to bring up an important point, or an important bit of information I'm supposed to say to the other person, because my brain gets scrambled and stressed in the moment, and my head, it's just so clouded full of stuff, and it feels like there's a million things going on in my head. So I end up forgetting pieces of information that I'm supposed to articulate to the person that I'm talking to. And then that could mean that vital information is left out, or I could maybe misinterpret, or actually just clean forget about what was told to me, because I am so stressful during those intense talking. It's like, just as a quick example, it's like being told by a teacher and it's something important, and like, yeah, my brain would go, it would melt. Like I wouldn't be able to verbally communicate that. So, whereas talking by typing or text, anything to do with that is much better. I am very good at it. I've always loved writing. I've written a story when I was 9, but I don't think it was 9. I think it was 10. I was in Oma at the time, in my first primary school, which, if you remember from my life video, was Christ the King primary school, and I remember my first story that I wrote. I didn't get through much of it, so I actually didn't write the whole story, but I wrote a good bit of it, and it was called the Scope 3000 or something like that. There, and if I remember right, it was about a sniper rifle. I know it sounds a bit weird, but yeah, I'm into weapons and stuff. Like it's like I'm sure you know men are into brutal things like axes and they like chopping wood, for example. Like and be manly man, things like that. I just have a big interest in military things. Like in weapons and just how they work, and think of them as cool in the way that they work. Not necessarily to do with murdering people, of course not, or shooting people. And for example, I once wanted to join the army because of these fascinations, but first of all, I'm too lazy to be in the military. And secondly, it's not something I would want to do because even if two people are shooting at each other and it's instinctive you're going to defend yourself, I could not bear the thought of taking another life in the battlefield because that soldier is fighting for someone else's cause and I will be fighting for someone else's cause too. And I can't see a world where I would ever want to do that. Not, a lot of soldiers don't want to do things like that. They have to, and they're good at it. But those soldiers on the other side aren't necessarily evil. They might view me as evil, and I might view them as evil. But it doesn't. It's just because they're the other side. And I know I'm getting into a weird tangent about this completely. I'm trying to figure how did this start again. But I actually can't remember now. But I remember the thing about Patrick, so I'll say that in a minute about my grandfather. But yeah, it sounds weird me talking about taking another person's life. But in terms of if someone broke into my house and you and our baby was there and they were there to rob the place or whatever, something malicious, I would defend everybody, including myself, but I would put myself last. I would happily defend everybody for the sake of my family because I would well, it's not that I would love my family because my children haven't been born yet, or children, but I love my family and I would do it today if it was my mother, even though, the mother and father usually protect the child, but I would happily defend my mother if there was an attacker or something like that. And if someone was doing something like breaking in and they had a weapon, then I would defend you and the baby and our family with every ounce of strength in my body. Now, who knows how far that could go? And that's the only situation where I feel that my actions would be justified because it would be either my family getting severely attacked or the perpetrator. And the best thing the best result would be if the person just surrendered and they went to jail or just went away. Basically, if the situation just goes away and the person is never a threat again, then that's a win. I don't care what happens to him. In a way, you'd feel angry at him, but main thing is you just want him away from your life. But the main thing is I would defend you and our babies with every ounce of strength in my body, and I know that because the longer I live, older I get, the more I feel love for my family stronger, and the less sort of love I have selfishly for myself. And what I mean by that is that I'm more willing these days to put myself out there to defend my family and to not care about the repercussions to me as long as it benefits and helps my family. So I'm proud of myself to think like that, and I want to do it more. I don't want to put myself in danger. Everybody that's members of my family, they love me and they don't want anything bad to happen to me, and you, of course. But as I said, the main point was that I would defend you with every ounce of strength in my body, and that's part of loving you. And I feel that it's every man's duty to do that anyway. Like, even if the person's, even let's just say we were married or someone else is married, the husband, if he tried to fight off a thief or someone breaking into their house, a burglar, a robber, even if the husband didn't succeed in his attempt to defend, as long, well, it is important that everybody survives and are good, but the the the, the whole point is for the husband to use every ounce of strength and willpower in his body and mind to defend. Now, I'm not strong, I'm not big, but I would use every single ounce of inner strength, meaning mentally, my rage that can form if I get really angry at something. And my body may not be strong, but I would be determined to save my family. Even if I didn't succeed, it would still mean that everybody and God knows that I did everything in my power to prevent it. Obviously, it's important for it actually to be prevented, but the alternative is someone being cowardly. So it's like the husband runs away. Or a more realistic scenario would be someone breaks in, they're confronted, the family, let's just say there's a husband, wife, and a child, and the husband at the start claimed to, like, portrayed himself as uh, defending his family, but then cowered uh, to the will of the robber, the person that broke in. So they kind of surrendered easily without defending their family. So what I mean is that they're not defending as much as they could because they're thinking about their own safety, which it's inbuilt. It's built into humans, and God made us that way to want to what's the word for it? There's a certain word for it, but like, it's survival instincts. We have that inbuilt survival instinct to persevere, and we don't, like, our instincts are not to go into dangerous situations. It's the opposite. We try to not, we don't go right into a lion's mouth. For example, we run away or we get away from it. So for someone to cower at like the husband to cower at the threat of a robber or someone breaking in and that are a threat to their family, well, that husband, yes, I can understand he's thinking instinctively without even thinking about it. He's thinking about his own safety in his own mortality. He doesn't want to die. He doesn't want to get hurt. But I feel that that fear should be. I feel that that fear would never compare to the fear that I would have that my family would get hurt. So if I was being threatened first, I'd be scared, of course. I admit that. But then if my family got threatened, then that would take the top spot, and that would make me think it would make me sorry, I'm getting lost here. It would mean that the priority of my safety would become less. It would still be part, but for a few moments at least, my own safety, my own fears about myself would dissipate. It would disappear because there's a bigger fear, and that would be fear of my family, you, or someone else's wife or someone else's child or our child, because the family, your family are more important than selfishly thinking about yourself. And that's the way I would be. It may sound like, okay, well, prove it. And we don't want to prove it, obviously, because we don't want to get in a situation like that ever. But I feel that I could do that because, yes, it's scary, but the fear of and the reality of something happening to my family or family would definitely take priority, and it would make me completely forget about my own safety for however long, because my love is that strong, and so should others. So that's why I feel that even though there is that survival instinct, I don't believe that all men should just cower. That you should do the best to save his family. To do whatever he can to sacrifice himself if necessary to save his family, to take care of his family, to make sure that they get through the situation, even if it cost him his life. And I feel the exact same way, babe. And I promise you, I swear that that is the truth. And I hope it never comes to that. But of course, I don't. But I really would, babe, and it means a lot to me to say that. But because I love you so much, I could never live to know that I didn't try my best to help. Like death is preferable compared to living with the knowledge that I did not do everything in my power to help, to save, to assist you in any way possible. So I hope that comes across as, like it actually makes sense. Ask me if it doesn't. Please ask me if it doesn't. But basically, you should, like I'll try to shorten it. Like the husband should try their absolute best to protect their family, even if it means their safety is in jeopardy. And yes, other family members too, such as a mother potentially sacrificing herself for her child. That can happen and has happened. So that's what I mean. Basically, going above and beyond, like, to save or protect your family, even if it costs you your life or you were severely injured or whatever. But hopefully that makes sense. I feel it does. Like I was blabbing on a bit. I just feel like blabbing on a bit, but I do remember what I was saying about the Patrick thing, and it is, well, it's not a long story or anything, but when I was 11 and a couple of months before I was 12, in primary seven, and I did explain my life story about the primary system. So I was in my seventh year of primary school, and it was my last year of primary school. And for everybody in Catholic schools, the Christian schools I was at, you have a thing which I don't know if it exists where you are in your church or in a different way. So, there is different kind of traditions and things. So it probably doesn't happen over there unless it's in a certain church. But there's a thing called a confirmation, and it's a religious kind of, well, not kind of, but it's a religious ceremony where you're firstly kind of prepared for it. You have a conversation with a priest and you explain to them your sins. And I did that, and uh, I'm trying to remember the ceremony itself, and it is kind of more like a family event at the end of the day, where you get dressed up in a nice suit, and your parents go there. My mother was there, and my uncle. My dad wasn't there because during that time he was in the early stages of having that meltdown, like that breakdown, and he was not living with us anymore. But like everybody else's family was there as well in the church, and there was like a ceremony afterwards at the school hall. So it's a religious ceremony. It's a happy occasion, and I'm just trying to remember every facet. I think I remember getting blessed with what do you call it, ash or some kind of other substance on the head, like in a praying style. Yeah, when you're blessing yourself. And then I remember shaking the hands of my priest, and you're supposed to, in the talks with him, you're supposed to kind of become abstinence, if that's the right word, which means like confirming that you're never going to take alcohol and you're never going to smoke cigarettes and take drugs, like, which is easy. And at 12 years old, you don't care about that. You can just say yes to everything, because, well, not nobody was in my school was smoking, drinking, or taking drugs at 11 or 12. So that's, like, it's a thing for the future. For example, my aunt that was living in the same town, actually, when I was living in Newton Stewart, she has become someone who's completely abstinence. She has never drank, she has never smoked, and obviously never taken drugs. And she's 60, 30, I think. I could, for future Stephen, Margaret could have been conceived on my grandparents' wedding night, because there's actual data to, like, if you were to calculate when my grandparents got married and when my aunt was born, it was either that night, their wedding night, or very, very close afterwards. But I will explain more in a future video. So, future Stephen, note that down so I could talk about that too. So I could become another part. But so the abstinence thing, the declaring yourself, like, to not do these things, that's one part. And you're supposed to, like, have a conversation about that with the priest. Everybody did, and I did too. And now, don't ask me why. I just, there was no kind of why in my head. I just went along with it. And one of the things I was asked was to select a name that would become part of my name. And so obviously you have my family name, Elliot, and my middle name, John, because my my dad's middle name is John, and my my godfather is John as well. So Stephen John Elliot is easy to figure out. Uh, and I was trying to think of a middle name. I think you have a I think you have a slim down kind of list, but I could be wrong. I think maybe I don't think you could choose anything, like choose a stupid name that doesn't make sense, like a new trendy name or something. But I think there is a list. Let's just say there is a list, or if there's not, it's as long as you're sensible. So I was trying to think, and even back then at 11, I loved my grandfather, and I just had it in my head, and I remember thinking, kind of straight away, maybe that yes, Patrick is a great option because of my grandfather, and it would be kind of like an honor to have that as part of my middle name, and it's called a confirmation name. And so I chose it. There's another thing. I think you have to tell the priest during the ceremony when you go up. You tell them. I think maybe say a few things. I don't know what it was, but if I remember right, you have to tell them the name that you're choosing. I'm 90% sure that's correct. I think it is, yeah. I'm 95% sure it's correct, actually. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But there's a small chance I could be misremembering. But so if I am remembering right, yes, you go up to the priest and you say the name of the confirmation name, and I think he blesses you and things like that, and bing bang boom, the rest of the ceremony. But yeah, I chose my middle name because of my grandfather. I think I told you that before, but this is the kind of longer version of that. And I loved my grandfather even back then. And I've just thought of another thing. So, future Stephen, remember this as well. Note it down. Sorry, Aileen, I'm actually talking to you, but sometimes I have to say hello, Stephen from the future. But it's me to kind of note things down so I remember to come up with ideas for our future videos. And I know of one that I won't even hint at, but I think it's a lovely, lovely thing. And yeah, there's a reason why I love my grandparents, my mother's parents so much, and it goes back to when I was a baby to an early toddler. Basically, it's taking your first steps in life. If you get my drift, Stephen. Sorry, you're probably very confused with what the hell I'm doing. But yeah, I would love to tell you that story. It's a quick story, not now, but like when I'm talking about, like in a future video about different members of my family. But yeah, Stephen, John, Patrick, McCrossan. Like the Stephen part is actually, I think, because my mother has said it, but sometimes it's retracted a little. So she would confirm it, and then sometimes she wouldn't as much. But the my grandparents' wedding date is the 26th of December, which is the day after Christmas Day, and that's called Boxing Day. And in religious terms, the 26th of December each year is called Saint Stephen's Day. So that's what I've always been told is at least an inspiration for why I'm called Stephen. Now, my dad probably wouldn't confirm it as much, but my dad's very confusing at times telling stories. Sometimes he's brilliant, and then sometimes he can be very confusing. Like he doesn't give you direct answers at times, and it's because he's autistic too. It's hard to communicate at times, but uh, I can, because me and him are both high functioning autistic people, we know how to handle each other. We know how to get along basically without causing chaos. Now, like 15 years ago, we didn't know as much about autism. We didn't know anything. And because we didn't know how to channel our frustrations with communications due to autism, yeah, there'd be big arguments about the smallest thing. We would literally have arguments about sauce. Like sauce you put on your dinners and stuff like that. There's that brown sauce I told you about before. It kind of spices up the dinner, whatever the dinner may be, like maybe potatoes, like mashed potatoes. And yeah, we had a like few hours long kind of grumpy session, me and him bickering each other because of sauce. Um, but yeah, me and him know how to handle each other now. But yeah, uh, I really hope it is because of Saint Stephen's Day. So I hope to get a definitive answer. But I think I actually have enough ideas to create now the second part of the story of my life because I can give you maybe I could upload a chart as well of my family because I have many cousins. As I told you, I have loads of, like my mother has brothers and a sister, and my dad has at least 11 or 12 in his family. So I'm trying to think. I think it is 12 in his family. That's including him, so 11 others, and they all have children and stuff like that. So there's loads of cousins. But what I'm talking about is giving you a rundown of my family. Like maybe starting from the most important: mother, father, grandmother, grandfather, cousin, Vincent, even. And just telling you a bit of things about them and maybe a story or two. But no, I hope you love this, babe. I do just love talking to you in this way. Sometimes I feel during video calls I feel a bit weary because I feel like perhaps I'm boring you, and it's it is upsetting actually thinking about it when I what that the feeling I can get. I can be so scared that I could be boring you, or you feeling that if I was quiet for 5 minutes, perhaps you would be scared about me being bored, which never, never. Now, I'm not going to talk about that fully, but never going to get bored, babe. Never. Just watch my other videos. I'm never going to get bored. I love talking to you. I'm bad at, like verbal, and it's not that I'm trying to get out of video calls and things. It's just, like at times I will have this fear that, like if I go quiet for a few minutes, then it will feel like a disaster. So therefore I get scared, and like maybe the video call doesn't happen. But it wasn't about that yesterday. It was more about knowing if you could have helped me, because I was just concerned that I wouldn't be able to talk about much because I was quiet. But I love talking to you. It may be a bit narcissistic or selfish for me to talk about myself. I'm happy to talk about you, or future, or children, anything like that. And I I would love. I know you're not perhaps the same about talkative on a camera and stuff. That's totally fine. Everybody's different. Now, to kind of answer something that I might have touched on earlier about, I may that yes, I remember saying. If you remember, I said I may sound articulate in the way I talk. Well, to continue on from that quickly, yes, I may be a bit articulate. I remember this was when I was talking about my brain fried during a conversation. I used to be many times worse communicating verbally, especially in high school, and sometimes I was being mocked. So, low level bullying, nothing to cry about, but I was very no, not very ashamed, but I was a bit ashamed, and I didn't know what to do. And through time, I didn't think directly about addressing it, but I think instinctively I began kind of tackling the situation by practicing. And it may sound mad, but I used to. It's like, I'm sure you've seen children play with like the toys and they're talking. Like if there was a kid with two cars and they were playing with the cars and they were talking about it to themselves, like, "Oh, broom, broom, I'm gonna hit you," whatever. Like, I wouldn't do that. I would do that when I was 9 or something. But what I mean is that if I would be playing video games or something like that, I would just talk to myself. Now, not crazy style, like literally like, "Hello, how are you? Oh, I'm fine. How are you?" Like, I'm not that crazy, but I would talk a lot just to myself, just like maybe a bit of loneliness too, because I didn't have many friends, and that's so weird. I know, but quite a bit of people do that, more than I thought, way more than I thought. I thought it was very rare, but it's basically just narrating what's going on. So I'd be like, why is that like that? I thought it was this way. So I'm just giving you a vague reference to anything. If I was playing a video game, but like, why is that door open? I thought if you press this, you close it. That's weird. Oh well. But so things like that, and the more and more I did it, the better I became at talking when I'm alone. See, I'm sure you can see how that's connected. I made a big stride in things like that when I made a speech in English class in high school when I was 14, 14 or 15. Yeah, I think 14 or 15. I'm leaning towards I was 15, but between that and English class, we had to write a speech, or like just so, like basically explaining something. It's not a, like, it didn't need to be a big grand thing, and you could choose your own subject to talk about. I actually talked about rally cars and the World Rally Championship, which is rally cars competing to have the lowest amount of time, like compared to the other drivers. So they're not driving around a circuit, they're driving from one muddy area to another muddy area in these souped up cars. You might have seen it. I don't know what it's like in the Philippines with that, but I could show you examples. Yeah, but I'm super into World Rally, and especially back then, I was just about introduced to the World Rally Championship, so it was all new to me and so fascinating. So that's why I chose it. I remember practicing in front of my mum's in my mum's room. She had this long mirror, like a vertical mirror, and I remember doing a few hand gestures and practicing with a piece of paper in my hand, talking about the World Rally Championship, and it was only about 3 to 5 minutes maybe, and I did very well. I got the highest score I could have, and my teacher was very appreciative. She told me her name was Miss Mooney, and she praised me for it because she knew I liked doing the speech, because I actually said that I was excited because I wanted to show off maybe my skills at talking verbally, at doing these types of things. And and nowadays, so if I was 15 back then, that means there's 17 years since then, and that's more than half of my life ago. So in those 17 years, without maybe trying too much, I've gradually improved and improved and improved some more. And by doing this video, for example, I'm improving even more because I'm talking to myself only on a camera, and I'm comfortable enough doing it. And as I said, the practice of talking to nobody, which I still do, I still talk to myself if I'm playing a game. I'll be like, why is that car slower than the others? I don't understand, but sure, why could it be like that? Maybe it's because of the engine. Well, I have to do this now to see if I can improve the engine. Things like that. I know it sounds random, but it's things like that that I am referencing. I get things very similar to that, and I don't even care anymore if it's weird to others. I actually do not care because it's my life. I can do whatever I want as long as it is within, without sin, and as long as God guides me, towards true happiness with love and care for others and my family. And being bullied in the past about being just me and being into video games, getting bullied just because I'm into video games. I used to hide my true self when in high school. And obviously, high school was a long time ago. And I was 17 when I left. Or, sorry, I was 1 month away from being 17. So I was 16. I'm now double that age. So half a life ago, 16 years, I have gotten past all of that rubbish. Past all that nonsense about being bullied and nonsense like that. Just clear nonsense, like being bullied about any old rubbish. But these days, I'm like embracing the weirdness. Now, I don't think I'm totally weird. I hope you're in love with a weird man. No, I think I'm normal enough. I hope you can hear me okay. It's just I sometimes get. I'm that much of a perfectionist. I'm scared sometimes that something might not work properly, like the speakers or something. But I'm just me. I just me nowadays, and it's making me much happier. And because I've talked so much to myself throughout the years and things, and perfected things like that, I've become even more comfortable with making speeches or talking to myself in a long form manner. But when it comes to the addition of one more person, even if it's my mother, I'm the most comfortable person I'm with in the world is my mother, because I've been with her the longest, because my dad left for a while. I didn't contact my dad, basically, is what I mean, when he had his mental breakdown, which I regret, but that's not the point. So the most known person to me is my mother, and I'm most comfortable talking to her. But even in phone calls or video calls, I would be uncomfortable at times because it's a verbal call, especially when it comes to if my mind is blank, or if it's about something important, if it's about money, or if it's about some kind of business with a flat or moving, something stressful. My mum has a bit of kind of a harsh personality at times, but it's not because of that. It's because of me and being uncomfortable when you add another person. And the more people you add from there, let's just say if it's not a phone call, if it's a conversation with two people in the room, then that would be even more uncomfortable. And then three, four, like it only gets worse from there. But so that's hopefully an explanation of like talking on video call compared to me making videos. I'm much more comfortable doing it like this. However, I'm more than happy to talk on video calls. It's just sometimes I can be a bit uncomfortable, but not because of you, but because of me. So I hopefully you're convinced and understanding about everything about that now. But no, it's no excuse either. I should be making more effort because I know how much it means to you, but not just because of that, because you want me to feel like it's important, and trust me, I do. I'm just rubbish at it. But you're going to say I'm not, so I love you so much because of that. But yeah, so I hope you understand all of that. This video went on longer than I thought. It's going to take a wee while to upload, but the other one was about 15 minutes, so yeah. If I think about something else, I will touch on it. I love the singing video. I might reference that in the next video. I might take a little break because it's an hour and 3 minutes. Not bad, not bad. That's pretty good. So I might have like a half an hour break or so, and then get to a next video. Or I could wait until this video is uploaded, and I never even needed to pause it once. So, oh my god, look at the shape of me. But that emoji where it's, oh god, I look crazy here. Sorry, babe. You fell in love with an absolute loon, but it's the I feel right now the emoji with the big smile, the big grin. And I know you call me guapo, and that's so touching. And I can't wait for you to, when you watch the video that I talk about the response to your idea about the what do you call it, the shirt idea. Amazing, absolutely amazing idea, babe. But yeah, I'm gonna take a little break now, and yeah, probably half an hour. I don't want to wait too long because then I kind of like I get into a flow. For example, it's like if I intend to make a 10-minute video, I could then, after like 5 minutes or 10, even 10 when it gets to the runtime, I don't even care about that I met the 10-minute mark. I could be in a flow that I just keep talking, and I get into that groove for longer, and then maybe I hit like a wall around an hour, like where I'm kind of like, okay, that's enough for now. But so like I have targets when I do videos, but as like I said, it's kind of random. So that's good too. I hope you like this one. I really do, babe. And I will upload. Actually, when I'm taking this break now, I'm sorry. I know what to do. I was just thinking, how am I going to upload it onto your channel? But I know how to do that now. So what I will do is I will start uploading this, and I won't interrupt this upload, because if I start uploading, let's just say the first 15-minute video onto your channel, it would interrupt the speed of this being uploaded. So instead of two things uploading at once, because remember, the first video is already, I'm assuming, uploaded at this point, because it did say it was processing. So, I could do it after it's uploaded. So after this video is uploaded, which will take longer, unfortunately, but when that's uploaded, then I could start uploading the the two videos, starting with the 15-minute one, onto your channel. I will make sure to unlist them. I might just do a bit of editing as well, where I could put everything onto a playlist, just like I did with this. And I should download the videos that I don't have, but you have, where you recorded me, us talking. So I could what I could do and will do is download those and then upload them onto my channel and make them public, because I've made every video of us now public. I I have no shame about it. I just thought maybe a few subscribers of mine might kind of find it jarring that I've gone from gameplay videos to talking like this. But no, I'm very happy to do it. I love it. I love that there's two sources that you can find these videos, so you can never lose it, babe. You can never lose it. Even write down the names, like Mr. Crosshaven, just in case, for example, you lost for some reason you lost your phone, or you had some way of not being able to find my channel, but you had this written piece of paper saying Mr. Crosshaven, and they're like, oh, that's the name of it. You look onto it and you find it. So happy to help in those ways. So basically, or my channel will have all of our videos, and that's my target. So I want to do it by this. Let's say this time tomorrow, I want to have all of my videos onto your channel, and all of your videos onto my channel. Therefore, both channels will have the exact same videos together, only it's uploaded in different times, but that doesn't matter, because the all the same videos will be on both, so there won't be one missing. We will have identical amount of videos by this time tomorrow, and that'll be great. It's a good target for me to do, and I definitely got into a groove talking to you today. I definitely want to talk more about, especially about the singing, and about the idea of, what I might do is, first of all, talk about random stuff again, talk about you singing and stuff, and then a little later start the video of basically the second part of the story of my life. So I definitely want to do that, and I'm in the mood to do it. I'm not just in the mood, I'm in the groove, like I said. My throat's a bit dry. I haven't taken a sip of water, which I should do in a second. My bottle's over here, but oh, almost spilled it. Well, you can't really spill it. Oh, oh my, oh no! I thought, I thought this nozzle would prevent water from coming out. It's only water. It'll evaporate by the next time I making a video. So, Bobo, Bobo Stephen. But yeah, so I've definitely been in a groove to make a video, and it'd be interesting to see the next, kind of big step I take in making videos, because I've made a video where I was talking for, the first story of my life video, and that was 1 hour and 40 something minutes. So over 100 minutes. This one is 71 minutes long, and I'm proud of that. I'm just kind of wondering when the first 2 hour video will come and what that could contain. I could be telling you a story about things. I could be doing anything like that, but no, I have another topic in mind that I could tell you, but I'm not telling you right now. I will tell you in the third video of this random thing, but it's something that you actually suggested that I should do, and I think because what I was explaining to you about my performance talking on video, I think you could be right, because my confidence in video making and stuff definitely has increased, because your opinion matters most to me. I don't care if I had a million, well, I do care if I had 1 million subscribers, but their opinion compared to yours would never match, because you're the love of my life, and your opinion matters the most. If it was 1 million people combined, their opinion still, that combined opinion would never come close to your opinion, because your opinion matters most, because you're my one, you're my love, and so that's why your opinion about my future on YouTube, I think is actually a good idea. And even if, which I've always said, even if my YouTube kind of didn't explode with views and gain popularity in some levels, even if that did not happen, if I'm having fun doing it, then bingo, it's amazing. I'm happy. But what is even better, is you having fun watching them, babe. And that's what I want also. I'm having fun making this video, babe. And I want you to have more fun watching the next video, and the next video, and the next video. But it's no point in making them if I'm not having fun either, and I am. I'm having fun because of the content I'm talking about, but I'm also having fun because you love those videos as well. So it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy where, I know that you'll love them because you love me and you love to hear me talk. So it makes you super happy knowing that you're going to be listening to a 75-minute video. And, it makes me confident and happy doing it. So when I'm talking, I know that you will love every moment of it. And I greatly appreciate it. It's not that I'm being cocky or being stuck up or even snobbish and thinking I'm so great. Oh, ho, 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 ho. No, I'm humbled by you, babe. I never thought that I would get someone like you, someone that's so down to earth, nice, totally natural themselves. When I say natural, I mean personality wise, you are totally yourself. You never try to be someone else or try to fake any part of your personality. You know, like a lot of men and women do it over here. I don't, because my autism makes it difficult for me to portray myself as somebody else. Like, if you remember, I said my mother told me I'm a terrible liar, which is good. So me pretending to be someone else would be futile because I wouldn't be able to do it. But you know, like I was saying, you know, like, I totally appreciate your love for me. It's blowing me away. And your request about the shirt, it's only made me love you even more. And I can't wait to see the results of all of that. But anyway, babe, I'm going to have a half an hour break. I'm going to upload this, start the upload. It's going to take a while, but I'm going to upload this. Then, as soon as it started the upload, I'm going to take a 30-minute break. You might be back from church by then, and then you'll be able to watch the first video. Hopefully, this video will be uploaded by the time you have ended the first video. So, hopefully it'll come in a kind of a good form. But after half an hour, then I could start work on the third video, which I have a few random topics to talk about. But anyway, babe, I love you so much. I have no lyrics to the song, but I just love you so much. You're probably laughing, but don't laugh at me. I love you, Aileen, so, so much. Cringe, 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 cringe. Aileen, I love you so much. You are my